In this lesson, you'll learn to computerize your floor plan using your measurements. Now that you have all your measurements, it's time to put them into the computer. Free programs you can use are Bassett, Room Planner, West Elm, and Art House. Disclaimer, there is no guarantee that these free programs will remain available forever. For example, the Bassett floor plan program, which is very easy to use, wasn't available during a recent website update, but now it's back along with all my saved floor plans. Paid programs include Smart Draw, which is the one I teach my non-major interior design students to use. No matter which program you choose, always create an account, save, and print your work as you go. This will allow you to make future changes or tweaks to your design. These images are a visual of the computerized floor plan you'll create. Once the measurements are in the computer, you can add scale to size pre-populated furniture to the plan. Create multiple layouts to find the one that best fits your needs, space, and lifestyle. Remember, you should be able to imagine yourself living in the layouts you create. Pro tip, interior designers create 2 to 3 floor plans with different layout ideas for clients to choose from. You are your own designer, so once you have 2 to 3 options, ask your partner, your roommate, or a friend to help you decide. If you're still having trouble, sleep on it and revisit your floor plan layouts in the morning. Sometimes all you need is the clarity from a good night's sleep to know the best floor plan for your space. Share your measurements. The measurements you take will be needed when you're working with trade professionals, from contractors to furniture showrooms and window installers. Having your own measurements will help you to plan your furniture placement and visualize your project. You can share your measurements for a rough idea of what a project will cost, but always have your trade professional take their own measurements too. This way, everybody's on the same page and they'll be accountable for any miscalculations. Always measure twice and cut once, as the saying goes. Do not rush the process, and remember our course mantra: good design takes time. Helpful tips to remember as you plan out your space. Give 30 inches to 36 inches of walkway between large furniture pieces, if your living room allows for it. If not, then at least 18 to 24 inches. Make sure there's no less than 3.5 feet and no more than 10 feet of space between seating. If possible, sofas should never be flush against the wall. Pull it out 3 to 5 inches and give it some breathing room. Your coffee table should be at least half the length of your sofa and no more than 2 inches higher or shorter than the top of your sofa seat cushions. 16 to 18 inches is the ideal distance between the sofa and coffee table. Your area rug should be large enough for at least the front legs of the sofa and all chairs to rest on top of it. Side tables should be no deeper than the depth of your sofa, and your side table should be close enough to easily put a drink down, which is typically 2 to 3 inches from the height of the arm. Depending on the size of your room, accent chairs should have around 42 inches between the set to fit a small table in the middle. In smaller rooms, just place the chairs side by side. When pairing a sofa and accent chairs, choose seat heights that are within 3 to 4 inches of each other. Make sure your sofa console is the same height or a few inches shorter than the back of your sofa. It should ideally have about 6 inches of space on either end. The distance between the TV and the sofa should be 7 feet depending on the size. The optimal height for the center of the screen is 30 inches above the lowest seat height in the room. Furniture delivery tip. Any furniture you buy should have some clearance around it and should be at least 4 inches less than the passage measurement of doorways and hallways. This will allow you or the furniture delivery people to move it easily. Action steps. Computerize your floor plan based on your room measurements. Add furniture to your floor plan based on the dimensions from the website where you're shopping. Measure any store-bought or existing furniture you plan to keep and add it to your floor plan. Create 2 to 3 furniture layout options. Choose the best floor plan layout for your room. Hiring an interior designer to create a floor plan for you will cost you a couple $100s. They're going to charge you either by the project, by the hour, and they'll upcharge for any kind of revisions. You might only get one revision. The best part is I'm going to show you how to do it yourself so you can save your money and put it towards your furniture, which is wonderful. You'll be able to make adjustments, try different layouts, all on your own time and dime. Let's get started. I'm going to show you how to create the floor plan using your measurements. What you're going to need is going to be the pictures that you took so that you can refer to them, especially if you're not living in the space, and for any areas that have setback details, air conditioning, or anything where you are not sure the measurements that you took. So you're going to want to have pictures of all the different spaces. You need to have the measurements of your floor plan so that you can now put them in the computer. I like to have the copy in the computer so that I can have it next to the floor plan that I'm creating as I'm working through the process. So I can always refer to it and look at the dimensions. You can also just have it printed and then you'll just be constantly looking down at your paper. In the course, you can refer to the standard home measurements. This is going to give you the space that's needed for traffic areas, conversation aisles. This will help you when you're putting the furniture into your floor plan. The room budget worksheets will give you a list by room of anything that you need. So for example, if you're creating a living room design, you'll need a sofa, chairs, ottoman, poof, rug. You don't need every single one of these, but it'll give you an idea of the different items that you can add into your room so that you think about them as you go through, and you can use this as a checklist. We are going to use the Bassett program. You'll go to Get Inspired on the Bassett website and then click Room Planner. We're just going to hit next here. I'm going to show you how to create the different sections using just lines because it makes it much easier. So we're just going to say next, and then we're going to say finish. You are going to create a login. So I have my login. I will log in. On the left side, click where it says architectural, and you will see walls, doors, windows, bay windows, fireplaces. The different architectural features of a home are going to be under architectural. And this is pretty basic, but it's just what you need to create your floor plan. So if I'm looking at my floor plan while I'm creating this, I can actually move this over to the side so you can have your sketch, and then as you're drawing out your floor plan, you'll have it next to you to refer to the measurements. One of the most important things is to save your work as you go. Do File, Save As, name your project, hit Save. You can open your projects by just clicking open. You'll see all your projects that you have. This is a visual of what the floor plan that we're going to create looks like. I'm going to go over to my architectural details and pull out my first wall. I put my measurement vertically. I'm starting at the longest wall from one corner, work my way around. This measurement is 231 inches, so I put that in. I go grab the next wall. The next measurement is 48 inches. So I will put that in. I'm next going to duplicate it so that it's easier and I don't have to keep going back and forth. Again, click the eye and change this to 25.5 inches for the shorter wall measurement. And then move that into place, line up my corners. I'm going to duplicate it again. The next measurement is 69 inches. So I'll turn it, keep my measurements on the outside of my floor plan, change this to 69 inches. I'm going to go through this process, work my way all the way around, creating all the different walls until I get to the end. This measurement is 140 inches. The next measurement's 31 inches. Then I have 66 inches and finally 86 inches. What might happen is you might have a slight gap when you get all the lines in. Just tweak and adjust, because if your calculations are right and all your shorter lines add up, then you'll just have to shift over and line up your lines, which is why I like to work this way instead of the way where everything is closed off, because this is just easier to shift and move everything. Next, scroll over the entire floor plan and click the double open boxes to group it so that you can move it all together. Now we're going to pull out our doors. Make sure that they swing in the proper direction. You're going to click the eye, change the size. This is 35 inches, including our molding. We are going to duplicate that door and then create the closet door. We're going to line it up with the wall. It'll shift into place. Again, 35 inches. We're going to use the ruler to draw a 24-inch line because that's the space I have between the door and the wall. We are going to add the final door for the bathroom by duplicating it. We'll turn it, line it up with the wall, change the measurement to 29 inches, shift it into place, and then put our measurement for 53 inches so we know the exact placement for our bathroom door. Now we're going to add in our window. So we'll pull out a window. This is 42 inches. So we'll type 42. say okay. We'll next add in the sliding doors for the closet. These are glass, but we have actually wood. Our measurement is 62 inches, say okay. Now we're gonna work on the recessed window area, which has a bump out and then an air conditioning. The first measurement is 48 inches by 6 inches. We'll shift that into place and add in the next measurements for the air conditioning, which is 42 by 8 inches. Now we have our air conditioning and the recessed window area complete. We're going to group it again by clicking those double open boxes so that we can shift the whole thing. To add text, just click on the A, which is the text symbol. Click on the I, type master bedroom. You can change your font size to be bigger. I chose 18, say okay. It's going to have a white box, so just click the I again and click transparent, and you'll get rid of the white box. Click that cross line, pull it out, and then you can move it to be just in a single line, or you could leave it to be on the double. Now we're going to move it into place. I like to move out the name of the room until I'm completely done. You have two options when creating floor plans in the Bassett program. You can either use products that are on their website or you can use the generic. When using the generic furniture, you're able to change the size of the products. For example, I pulled this queen size bed out. It's 60 by 80 inches. If I click on the I can change this now to 62. Say okay, and it adjusts the bed. This is great if you're adding in existing furniture from your home that you're going to work into your design, or if you're shopping multiple stores because you can add the pieces in. Look at the dimensions on their website, add those dimensions in, and tweak and adjust the product. It also will show you if you need to go smaller or larger on different pieces, and it's much more customizable. It's a simpler program, but it's all you need to get the job done. Let's go over and get our largest piece of furniture, which is our bed. We're going to try laying a king size bed and see how it works out. This is a beach house condo. The client is not in this home all year long, so they might not need access to the closet other than storage. So we'll put a king size bed. We're going to pull out the rug. I want to show you that there are different layers. So if we change the layer to 7, it goes on top of the bed. That's not what we want, so we're going to change it back to 4. Our bed is on layer 5, so it's in front of our rug. We'll change our dimensions to be in feet. So we're going to write 11 feet by 7 feet. We're going to rotate it and then move it into place. This rug is a little bit big in that it goes all the way to the wall. For the rug, you want to keep it pushed forward, not flush against the wall so that your nightstands are on the main floor. These are two other versions that I was playing around with different size rugs. I'm changing the rug to 7 by 10 so that there's more room on the floor because this room is narrow. Next, I'm going to go to the chests and dressers and I'm going to pull out a nightstand. This nightstand is very small. It's 22 inches by 18. So I know that I really don't have that much space if I use the king size bed. I'm going to duplicate this, put it onto the other side. So now I have my king size bed and I have 2 nightstands and a 7 by 10 area rug. I'm going to go back in and pull out a bench just to show you a bench at the end of a bed is nice. However, in this particular case, we need at least 3 feet for traffic flow walking past the foot of the bed. So we really don't have enough space for the bench. So that's a no. We'll move that out. What we can do is add an ottoman to the recessed area. We'll change this to 19 by 19, which is a standard size for an ottoman, and then we'll shift that into the corner. We could create a cute moment in this space by adding in a mirror against that wall, which is by the closet. So essentially you would get dressed, you would have an ottoman to sit down, maybe put your shoes on, and then you would have the mirror. Next, we'll pull out a TV. And we can just put that TV on the wall, a wall-mounted, maybe picture frame TV that we'll place on the wall here. Now we're going to pull out a mirror to put along the wall where we have the ottoman, which is opposite the closet, which essentially is nice because you could get dressed at the closet and then have a place to sit down at the ottoman and have a mirror. We'll add 2 lamps onto the nightstand, which gives an elevated look anytime that you add nightstands. And for this room, since it's so small, mirrors behind and above the nightstands would be nice because it would make the room feel larger. The other option for the mirror is to place it at the bathroom wall. However, you have the door situation. So when it's open, you won't see the mirror. I like the idea of putting it opposite the closet because it'll look stylish and be functional when you're getting dressed. Once you have all your furniture and you're happy, group your work and then add your title back so that you have your room labeled. The beauty of having a floor plan is once you have it in, you can now test and move things around. For example, this is a king size bed. If I want to switch it to a queen size bed, move my night tables over, change my area rug to a 5x7. Now I have a lot more room to walk around, get to the closet. There's a lot more space here. We can measure this space, and now we're over 3.5 feet almost. We could center it nicely because we'll have over 3 feet here for a pathway. This space is for a client's beach house, condo. They really do not need that much closet storage. They can decide if they prefer to have more space and just have the queen size bed, or if they're not going to use the closet and it's just for storage, they may decide that they want a king size bed. They just won't have as much access to this corner here. By creating the floor plan, you really can see the difference between the two spaces and how by changing out the size of your bed from king to queen, you get a lot more space. That is why you always have to put everything into the floor plan, because you will be able to really visualize how much room you have and what furniture you can fit. The same way that I have two different versions for the client to choose from, you will do the same thing. You are your own designer. Create 2 to 3 layouts for the room that you're designing so that you can see your options. This bedroom has limited layouts, but in a living room design, you may be able to use a sectional or 2 sofas opposite each other, a sofa and 2 chairs. There are so many different possibilities that you really want to try out all the different layouts to see the one that fits best for your needs and your lifestyle. To access the West Elm floor plan program, you will go to Free Design Services, scroll down to Room Planner, Get Started, Design Your Space. You can start with a template. You can create a floor plan, open existing plan. I'll show you how to create a floor plan. Name your floor plan, and now you'll be in the floor plan program. They're going to give you a generic plan, which if you click dimensions, say your room is perfectly square or perfectly rectangle, this is great because you can just put the rectangles in, it'll work. If you have an odd shape like we do for the bedroom, you'll have to pull out one of these shapes to get started, which I'll show you how to do. When you have plans saved in the West Elm program, click the 3 lines, go to Open Plan, click the plan that you want to open. It'll show you the date that you created it, modified it, open that plan, and then you could begin working. The same bedroom floor plan was put into the West Elm program. West Elm is not as easy to work with as Bassett is. If I want to build a new floor plan, instead of being able to use the lines, I have to pull out a shape. What I actually pulled out was this one. You can't use inches, you have to use feet. So I had to transfer all my measurements to feet. It could be a little funky trying to get smaller measurements. For example, if I want 5 feet 3 inches, it's hard to get. It's giving me the 9 feet and the 12 feet. This wall here should be 19.3 in the length. So that would change my length. Then what I have to do is shift and move. So if I move this to 2 feet, I move this to 5 feet 6 inches here. What I have to do to move this wall in is add a point. So I have to click on it, add the point, then I have to click on it again, add a point again, so that I can shift this over. So I'm recreating what you see here. This has to shift over to 7, which is a little bit off. This is what happens. So I can hit Command Z to undo. I have to pull this point down. I have to shift this up. but it doesn't let me just click. See, it's still giving me these dimensions, the widest dimensions here. I find the Bassett to be much easier. And when you're creating your floor plan, you'll first put all your measurements in, and then you'll go back in, put your doors, put your windows, put your closet, and then add your furniture. Don't add your furniture until you get all the architectural details in on your floor plan. To build out this recessed window, I have to go to shapes, pull out the shape, adjust it by stretching it down to whatever my measurements are, and put it where it goes. And I can duplicate the same way as in the Bassett program. I'm just putting, just to show you right now, an example. And then that's how it would look. If you're adding in the windows, you would go into build and you would pull out your windows, you would click on it, change the dimensions of it. To pull out the doors, we have the sliding doors that go here. Just not as easy. See, like things like that happen. Then you hit undo. It's 5'9" so I'd have to put 4.8, 4.9, move it over. The doors are the same process where you pull out the doors, you have to shift it to the direction, click on it. I would just put 3 feet for the door, duplicate it. I have to flip the door handle to get it to go the right way, shift it up. I can't use rulers to tell, so I'm counting the boxes. I still need another door, so if I duplicate this one and I move it here, flip it, so we'll put 2.9. You can say show dimensions, and that's 2 feet, 10 inches. You could either leave the dimensions on or click it off. Here's our basic floor plan. Once you create the floor plan, what you are then going to have to do to add products is you would either go to first build where you have add-ons. You can work off of the different rooms. So they have a bedroom, they have a nightstand here, so we could pull out our nightstand. To shift it, you would just rotate it. When it comes to pulling out a rug, we can go to rug. I'll also show you where they have their products. So if we pull out this rug and then I rotate it, here I can click the dimensions and I can put, again, everything is in feet. So I can put 7 feet, 10 inches, and then I would rotate that. So we'll go back to the bedroom. This is a queen size bed. So if I pull out the queen size bed and rotate it, I now have 2 nightstands in, and I can click the product to put the dimensions in. So if I click on the bed, I can change my dimensions. Now I will go into the products. I'll type table lamp. I have to look for the one that I want, pull it out, put it onto my nightstand, duplicate it. So now I have 2 nightstands, I have the bed, and I have my area rug. In builds add-ons, they do have plants, so you can add a cute plant. Maybe we'll add a hanging plant in the corner and see what that looks like. The great thing that I do actually like about West Elm, this is the floor plan that I created before. Click Scene Builder. It's going to give you this triangle, which will create your scene. Point it in the direction where you want to create a scene. You can move it. If I wanted to do this room from a side angle, I could do that, or I could just keep it straight head on. If you put it at the foot of the bed and you say create scene, it will give you the rendering of the elevation for the room, which is nice. You can bring that into Canva and add pieces to it, or bring it into Photoshop and maybe add artwork up above. I'm trying to add the artwork in West Elm, but it says that you can only add it to the mood board. So you could create mood boards, you could create products. These are actually products from West Elm. So if you are shopping from West Elm, it's great because you could actually see it within your measurements. Once your scene is created, you can save the scene, and then you can also view your scenes. So I can pull this up and I can look at different scenes. I can name my photo board, add a subtitle. So this will keep you nice and organized. It's best if you're using West Elm products and shopping West Elm, because you can pull in the exact products and create mood boards and scenes. So that's a nice feature. I do like that. Let's look at it with the second room that we created. So I'm going to exit the scene. The first one I used bed from West Elm. Here I used in build add-ons, I used the products from here. So we'll click scene builder and let's see what this looks like. We'll say create scene. So actually that's not working. So I would recommend using the products from West Elm because when I use just the generic products, it's not creating the scene for me. One thing about using the products from the product category, if you click product and go to all categories, furniture, bedroom, beds, for example, we have to wait for it to load. It's going to load all the products in. The bed that I pulled out was this Andy's tufting one. The issue is that the measurements are in. However, if you needed to change the measurements based on another product or another store that you're shopping from, you can't tweak those measurements. Because if I click here and click dimensions, it's giving me the dimensions, but it's not letting me change the dimensions. If you want to see an elevation, this is a great option. Otherwise, you can create the elevation in Canva or Photoshop. So you have two options. Play around with them, try them both out, test them, see which one you like better. I do believe the Bassett program is more user-friendly and easier to pull out products and adjust your sizes as you go through that process. Let me know how you do.